How's it going, everybody? Welcome back into the Ranger Wrap Up, the show here on the Illuminerdi, where we discuss everything going on in the world of Power Rangers. I am Bryce West alongside Larry Newbill today. How's it going, Larry?
Man, I'm doing great, man. What is going on with you today, buddy?
You know what? I went to WWE SmackDown last night. That was a pretty fun experience. This is my first WWE show. I went with my dad and my cousin. I grew up. I watched a lot of WWE as a kid. I didn't really watch it much as a teenager or an adult. There's just so much going on. It's like really hard for me to keep up with it.
Oh wow.
But I love watching it whenever I get the chance. And it was a really cool experience. And Larry, you were gone last week. You were at a convention. How did that go?
Oh man, it was the best experience of my life. I got to meet my Twitch friends for the first time out there, and it was excellent.
Cool.
We had fun, and yeah, the Torque Gaming Expo. Mostly just all the retro gaming con and man, some of the things they have is crazy. And yes, I did buy pretty cool stuff, but the one main thing that I had is like custom made. Let me show y'all
Okay.
real quick. Let me show you. This is a custom made. Yeah, someone made a custom made Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredders Revenge in the Sega Genesis style.
Ooh, that is really
Well,
neat,
well, the
actually.
with the yeah, real neat. And then the crazy
Does it
part
come
is
with a
he did
cartridge?
all custom made.
Oh,
Yeah,
sick.
come with the cartridge, and it's all splattered too, and it glows in the
Does it
dark too.
play? Is there an actual ROM on there?
Yeah, actual
That is
ROM.
awesome. That is
Yeah, I
really
tried it
cool.
out in a yeah, and it's like a Streets of Rage style,
Yeah, nice.
Streets of Rage
That is
style,
that is
which is
really neat.
awesome,
Are
really
you are
awesome.
you more into Sega? Are you a Nintendo guy? What kind of retro consoles are you into?
Uh, I'm a neutral. I'm
Neutral.
all around.
There we
Yeah, the
go.
neutral. Because
Is there one
while I was
that
a
you
kid,
specifically collect for, or just neutral on that too?
the neutral on it too. Because my family mostly had the Nintendo, and
Hmm.
then once I was old enough, I had my first console Christmas, and it was the Sega Genesis.
There you go.
It's time too. So ever since then, I've been playing both systems and that, and then 64 came in, and the Dreamcast came in, and
Yeah.
yeah, that's
Yeah,
all
I've
she
always I've
wrote.
always been a Nintendo or PlayStation guy, but I love Sega. I love me some Sonic the Hedgehog every once in a while too. It's like the only franchise I still care about. Um, but let's check
Even
in
know
with
the
the chat
rivalry.
real quick before we get things started here. We got Pikachu Master in the chat. How's it going? He says I watched WWE whenever well, he watched WWE whenever he was really young and have a lot of the action figures and the championship belts and stuff like that. Yeah, whenever I was
Oh
a kid, I
gosh.
always wanted like one of those championship belts, and my parents never let me have one. I don't know why. Well, probably because they just didn't want to pay for it. But yeah, I got all the Power Ranger toys though. So that was nice.
Oh
Josh
gosh.
Goldman
Oh
also in the
gosh.
chat. From
What
last
up,
week.
Josh?
My first console was a Genesis 2. Oh, there you go. You have something in
Woo,
common.
let's go. Let's go. We have it coming. Oh yeah. And speaking of that, since you went to the first to your first SmackDown, my very first SmackDown was when they were in Kansas City in Kemp Arena for the first world premiere first of the SmackDown back in 1999 with the main event between The Rock versus Triple H and Shawn Michaels as
Wow.
the special guest referee. I was actually there at
Wow.
the event. Yeah,
That's
because
really
I had
cool.
the excuse to miss the day of school just to go with my cousins, and
There we go.
yeah, it was the best experience of my life, man. Do you talk about going back to those days? It was
Yeah.
nothing but flying signs. It was just
Yeah.
signs and flashing flashing camera lights. So it was in them good old days, that Attitude Era, baby.
Yeah,
Let's
see,
go.
that was a year before I was born, so unfortunately I was unable to make it to that one. But
The little bit of known fact. That's a fact of the day from
but yeah, there
Bryce.
wasn't that many signs. There was a lot of lights and a lot of like big bangs, and
Oh
explosions and
man.
stuff. I didn't expect all the explosions. You know, I guess you see them on TV and it's like, you know, well, who cares, an explosion? But whenever you're in the room and there's an explosion in there, yeah,
Yeah, it was
that's loud
loud.
as
It
hell.
really loud.
So, but
Yeah,
yeah, that
the
was really cool. But
man,
we'll
man.
continue the WWE SmackDown wrap up later. Today we got the Ranger wrap up. So yeah, we're coming back. The Rangers are coming back to Aranus, and right away, this is one of the very few instances where we start with a Megazord fight. Um, so that was pretty cool.
Right off the
We get to
bat.
see Zato and his new purple dragon Zord. We got an image of that facing off against the worm monster from
It's a
before.
worm monster.
So that's pretty interesting. That huge that huge worm monster thing. But yeah, and then we also have some of the other Rangers, Billy, Solon, in their spaceship. We got an image of that too,
Mhm.
um, and they're just kind of trying. I can't remember who, because the colors of the Zords are so random. I know Zato was outside. Actually,
Right.
I think it was Zato, Hobby, and Ion outside fighting the monster, and then they form the cosmic dragon Megazord. I think that's what it's called. We have that image of that as well. Um, and this is a pretty cool Megazord design. I mean, obviously these are all from Q
Gosh.
Ranger, the Super Sentai season. All the robot mech fights are based off of Q Ranger. But in Power Rangers, I really like this design. I like the
Yeah.
purple and like the gold on the helmet. We got orange and cyan for the arms. Obviously, those change out every once in a while. But yeah, I like the Cosmic Dragon Megazord.
I like the color combination with the sky blue and the purple
Yeah,
and the orange, which is really nice touch to it. And it's flashy too, very flashy. The Megazord with the dragon, so it's perfect because man, I tell you one thing. The one of my cousins is a huge Power Ranger slash Sentai fans, and all he ever dreamed was man, I wish that we could have a Purple Ranger as a Dragon Ranger, and showing up years later, there it is. His wish just finally came true,
yeah,
and
it's a
man,
shame. It's a
he
shame we didn't
cried.
get to see that in Power Ranger. I do like that we
Yeah.
got original suits, but
Hmm.
also the Q Ranger suits are so cool that it is
Oh
kind of a
yeah,
shame
it's so cool,
that
very cool.
and there's not really a super easy way to watch Q Ranger in the States legally.
Mm. It was a
So it's not like, okay, just go watch Q Ranger. I mean, you have to go actually try for it and go find it, because it's not one of the series that have been officially subbed. Hopefully we can
okay.
eventually get that. I'm not
Yeah.
super confident in that, considering we just
Mm.
got the 3 seasons 5 man Abba Ranger, Deca Ranger, and it doesn't seem like any are coming anytime soon. So I don't know. Hopefully we can eventually get more Super Sentai seasons here in the States. Maybe Toei can somehow strike a deal with somebody other than Hasbro. I don't know how the legal stuff works with that, but from what I understand, it seems like Hasbro is kind of the ones holding it back, especially with the E1 selling stuff going on. It's such a mess. Uh, but anyway,
Sounds
the
like it.
Super Sentai copyright issues in the States are really weird. But
Yeah,
um,
it's weird. Even though that we have a lot of Super Sentai fans, Andy, you know that is I'm one of them. I'm the Super Sentai
yeah,
fans. It's like, come on
but
now.
yeah. So the Rangers kind of regroup in the spaceship after they've defeated this worm monster. I believe Solon went to do some sort of research or something into space, in well, on the planet, and gets captured in this cave. We have a photo of that, and it's got orange eggs surrounded around it. That's odd. I wonder what that might be alluding to. Uh,
Yeah.
but but yeah, so Solon gets captured. The Rangers are like, "What are we gonna do? How are we gonna find her? This is just foreign planet. We have no idea. I mean, there's nothing here. She could literally be anywhere." And so Zato uses his magic wand powers. We got a photo of that to try to find her. And then he kind of collapses. He passes out, and the Rangers are like, "Dude, like, what the hell? Are
Right.
you good or whatever?" And he's like, "Yeah, I'm fine. Don't worry about it." And so that's
Mhm.
kind of all we get for that for right now.
Right
Um,
now.
and so that might be something later. I don't know. The Rangers go somewhat searching for to have another Megazord battle. Zato and Izzy go trying to search for Solon, and then the rest of the Rangers get in the Megazord and fight the monster or whatever. Um, but then, whenever Zato and Izzy are going to the cave that they believe Solon is captured in, Ollie comes in and kind of spoils the fun. Of course, we've got to have our weekly Ollie image. We've got that ready to go.
Yeah,
Uh,
damn.
I mean, just look at that. This
Man, I
is our
love
suit
Ollie in this one.
appreciation segment of
Yeah.
today's episode. I mean, look at that. I mean, his suit is just so
It's
gorgeous.
beautiful. It's
I
beautiful.
mean, like the navy blue, the red, the black. I don't understand how they were able to go that hard on his suit, but then, with the Cosmic Fury Rangers, it was kind of like, you know,
Jeez.
um, uh, I don't know. The Cosmic Fury Ranger suits just aren't as good as Ollie's Evil Ranger suit.
Man, can they
So
just make a figure of it for crying out loud? They're like, come on now.
yeah,
It looks
I
so
wish they
sick.
would.
Can they
I
just
wish
make a
they would. I
figure
mean, it's one of
already?
the greatest suits in Power Rangers. Period.
Oh yeah, hands
So
down.
yeah, I love it.
American
But
made too. American made too. Like, come on
yep,
now. It's
yep. And
nice.
so Zato and Izzy are having to take care of Ollie. The other Rangers are in the Megazord. So who's gonna save Solon?
Hmm.
And so Fern is the only one left back on the ship, and so she
Mm-hmm.
takes the morpher that was meant for Ollie, if he ever rejoins the team. She takes that morpher and goes into the cave, or teleports into the cave where Solon is captured.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and she's able to kind of do some blasts on some of the enemies, and she's able to free Solon. But whenever she frees Solon, uh, some orange DNA stuff kind of goes all around her. It's like,
Uh-oh.
I wonder what's
Yeah.
about to happen here. And then some of the monsters come in again, and then Fern is able to transform into the orange Cosmic Fury Power Rangers, and so we'll throw that up there.
Right.
And this is freaking awesome.
Yeah, it is
Like,
nice. History in the
yeah,
making, you guys. History in the making.
yeah, we finally got our first official, like, no if and buts, questions, asterisks about it. This is an Orange Ranger on the main team. Finally, 30 seasons later. This is awesome. Her suit's awesome.
Yup.
I love the orange. The helmet is basically a recolor of Red's helmet, but
Basically.
you do have a little bit more of the extra like spikes and stuff on the top. I think
Mm-hmm.
it's fine. I love her weapon. It's
Oh,
sort of like
the,
nunchucks,
the
kind of with
nunchucks
claws
with
at the end.
claws. Yeah, they is.
Yeah,
They're pretty sick.
but the way that she actually gets her powers is also really cool. Like,
Mm-hmm.
because the Dino Fury slash the Cosmic Fury Rangers are based off of dinosaur DNA, and Fern got her dinosaur DNA from Solon, and
Yeah,
so
so
she
on.
has the Solon Sor power,
Mm-hmm.
or whatever. And I think that's really cool.
Really,
I
really
thought that was a
cool.
really cool way to explain how she gets her powers, because I think otherwise, especially with those statues being destroyed, that could have been really confusing.
Yeah.
So I thought that was a very creative, inventive way to give her powers.
I agree, and it's pretty. cool that Solon's is this thing the orange is her favorite color and everything. That
Yeah,
so everything on DNA it just represents her
yeah,
there was her Dino tribe, and yeah, it's pretty
yeah,
cool. I love it.
yeah,
I love it a lot.
yeah.
And my
Really
gosh,
cool.
she looks good in their arranger form. See, they got the
Yeah,
lightning bolt as a belt buckle and orange. And gosh, I love that uh, color with the silver and orange and gold. That's it's nice, and a little bit of the blue too. The on as
yeah,
the eyeballs on her
yeah,
the helmet. So she's yeah, she looks good in it. It's pretty.
yeah.
It's pretty. I
We,
love
we
it.
we finally got orange, which means this is officially the weirdest color scheme of any Power Rangers team, because right now we have red, green, black, and gold as the main original four. Then we added whatever the hell Zenith is, and then and then we add orange. So like gold and orange are already kind of similar colors, and then Zenith is almost like a yellowish white. Uh,
Yellowish watch.
so so we
Could
have
have been
all
a
but
purple.
yellow. Yeah.
Could could have
I,
been the
I
violet. The violet dragon
Data would have
purple.
been a really cool Purple Ranger, I
Yeah, it would
think.
have been purple.
Especially with his Zord. Um, yeah, I think that would have been really neat. And the Tyrannosaur visor, I think, still would have went looked good for a dragon.
Oh yeah.
Um, so yeah, I agree. I think if anything, I think if for some reason Hasbro was just so against using white as his Ranger color, I think purple would have been a good choice,
Oh yeah, the
especially with the
purple.
purple and the orange. It's very rare, even in Super Sentai. I think it's only happened twice that we've
Yeah,
had a purple and an orange on the same team at the same time.
it's very
Uh,
rare.
so
Do you don't hardly see
so
those?
and I like how they contrast with each other, and so this would have looked really cool. I think I don't know, the whole color scheme of the Cosmic Fury Rangers is just so bizarre. There's never been a
I
color
feel you.
scheme quite like it. It's so and then we add on blue later on. Because yeah, for this whole season we're basically without a blue. Well, I guess we have Billy, but in terms of like the same aesthetic, we're without a blue ranger for the most part.
Yeah,
And so
it's kind of weird. It's
yeah, it's a little odd, but I like it regardless. I'm just happy to finally have orange. We kept consistently skipping every Super Sentai season that had an orange ranger. And they
right.
finally adapted one with an orange ranger, but then they didn't adapt those suits. So it's just like, oh my gosh, we're gonna miss it again. But then but then
I just
they
don't get it.
you
I
know
really
they
don't get it.
they finally, with the original suits, went like, you know what, we're fine, this is our last chance. We're gonna
Yeah,
make our
last
own
chance.
orange ranger this time. So I thought that was really neat to see. It was a really cool moment. I mean, it's the 30th anniversary, the final season
Hmm.
of this main show that we're aware of at this moment. And so I was just happy to finally get to see someone wear orange
Someone.
in an official capacity in the TV show. Later on in this episode, we're actually going to be talking about some of the Orange Rangers that sort of count, sort of don't count, the ones in the comics. So actually, in the comments below, let's get this conversation rolling. Let us know
Yeah,
some of your
let's do it.
favorite Orange Rangers, and we'll be able to discuss that later on here in our program here today. But
Yeah.
yeah, they're the basically Fern leaves the cave with Solon. The Rangers are like, "What the hell? Where did this new Orange Ranger come from?"
Yeah, it's
And
like, wait, what? Who are you? Who are you?
yeah,
Where you come from?
and so they kind of fend off against Ollie and his henchmen. Ollie, I'm pretty sure actually Ollie gets mad at one of them and like obliterates
You get
one of the
the
one of the bad guys or
yeah,
whatever.
yeah, or the one the worms or something, but who
Yeah, oh
knows?
yeah, one of the worms I
Yeah,
think
the
it
one
was. Yeah,
worms. Yeah.
um, but but yeah, I thought that was kind of silly. Um, but yeah, and they were able to pretty much make pretty easy work of that new ranger. That means the fight's gonna go pretty easy. uh but they meet back in the base, and Shay just spoiled. God damn it, Shay! He, dude. Our producer's really messing up right now. He's It's okay. We don't pay him enough, so that's why. But
While on my weekend, I came back and Shay still messing up.
man, damn it.
Still messing up.
Well, Heckle's in the
No, I'm
episode. We'll talk
kidding.
about him later. Shay, mental note. That's Heckle right there. So keep
Yeah,
keep
that's
keep
the
that.
heckle. This is spoiler alert.
So
I
they
was
go
kidding.
back to
I
the
was
base.
kidding.
They go back to the base. Uh,
Please.
and they're like, "Who is this? Who is
Uh,
this new ranger? I have no idea who it could be. Fern is gone, but it couldn't. We're
so,
still so confused on who it could be." Um, but she kind of demorphs, and it's revealed that, of course, Fern is the new Orange Ranger. It kind of reminded me of the scene in Power Rangers RPM whenever Ziggy
oh
reveals
yeah,
himself to
with
the
the
Rangers.
Ziggy.
Yeah, like the Cosmic Fury Rangers weren't as absolutely pissed off as the RPM Rangers
Yeah,
were,
oh
but
gosh,
Izzy kind of did have
yeah.
that moment where Izzy's like, dude, like what have you done? You know, Izzy was very concerned with the fact that Fern has now joined the Rangers, because obviously she's going to be very protective of her. But
Very protect. Yeah,
eventually they
indeed.
kind of have a conversation, and they're able to work that out. I think we actually have an image on that shape. We'll skip ahead there
Mm,
of Izzy and Fern talking with each other. But yeah, so I thought that was a cool moment, between the two, because they kind of had this whole back and forth the whole season so far, where
uh-huh.
Izzy's been like,
Like,
I don't want you going out and doing all this stuff. You're getting
mm,
yourself into danger. We're the Rangers here. Let us take care of it. And now she kind of gets to a point where she has now accepted the fact that Fern is now a Ranger and is
a
and is willing
ranger.
to let her be a part of the team. And so I thought that was a pretty cool moment, kind
Yeah.
of wrapping up that sort of arc there, because we don't really get any more of that for the rest of the season. This is kind of the end of that arc between Izzy and Fern. Fern wanting to be a hero and helping out, and then Izzy kind of being
Mhm.
a little overprotective.
Very
Because once
overprotective.
she becomes a ranger,
Sure.
we don't really talk about it ever again.
No, they
So
never talk about it. Once you're a ranger, and then it's like, well, okay, change the
it's like, well,
change
all
that
right.
direction. Okay,
So
well,
nothing
no
I can really
argument
do
now.
about this. So,
Uh,
but yeah,
uh,
I thought that was really cool. And then we finally get revealed of who. Or in one of the earlier episodes, Tarek reveals to the Rangers that he actually has a spy on the inside of Squid Ink,
mm,
and it is
Squid
revealed,
Ink.
producer Shay, to be Heckle
It'd be Heckle, yes.
from Power
Heckle.
Rangers Dino Charge.
Charno Char's like, oh my gosh, it's Heckle. Like, yo, Heckle.
Yeah, I
I
appreciate
thought
the
that he
hard
was on
work. Thank
duty.
you.
Yeah.
I really
Woohoo.
appreciate it. But yep, we got Heckle in here. So yeah, this kind of is the setup to the special Dark Ranger episode that we have coming up, where we're finally wrapping back around to it. We missed it in Dino Charge. Now Heckle is going to be coming back in the next episode as the Dino Charge Dark Ranger, and spoiler alert for next week's episode, it's pretty freaking awesome. So,
Yeah.
uh, I mean, it is so great to see that suit in action. Um,
Took him long
it's
enough.
probably my favorite Super Sentai suit ever.
Oh yeah.
So to finally get to see that, I just love all the Kyoryuger suits, but Death Ryuger specifically, is just absolutely gorgeous. It's such a cool costume, and we finally get to see it for the most part. There are little changes that
Yeah.
they made that we'll talk about next week, but yeah, it was really really cool to finally get to see Dark Ranger and Power Rangers Cosmic Fury. But we'll talk about that next week. Right now, Larry, what are your thoughts on Cosmic Fury episode 6?
Well, first off, speaking of Corey Uger, happy 10th anniversary to Corey Uger. It's been 10 years.
Oh, yes, that's right.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
10 year. It's been 10 years. I know that they'll be coming out with some new new stuff for them. But yeah, overall the episode I thought was great. I thought it was great that we actually finally have a good um good story on Izzy and Firm. They've always had that the relationships.
Yeah,
Um, the little small the complication, with the being overprotected, wanted to help. She
yeah,
wants to help to get involved. That's all she wants. But she's being too overprotected of her. But now the sense changed the things since while she was out there in the Megazord and all that, and then she's the only one who was in the ship left while the Billy is
yeah,
working
right.
on it, doing his thing.
Well, yeah,
Billy
he was in the
Billy's
Megazord with
room.
the other Rangers. Yeah,
Oh
yeah,
yeah,
he was in
that's
the
right. He was with
Megazord.
the
Yeah,
Megazord. Yeah, they're with the Megazord. So it was yeah, but she was the last one to go save Salon. So the which she did, and then she had a lot of courage. She has courage. She's fearless. I
yeah,
love that. I love about her that she is fearless and she just want to help, and then yeah, she might be a little scared with the situation, but she's strong enough to pull through, and that's why she earned Salon's DNA of
yeah. From
um
the grid, yeah, the morphin grid
yeah, yeah,
did
yeah,
something.
yeah,
Yeah,
yeah. They're with the grid, but now she became a ranger, the first official Orange Ranger,
yeah,
and
it's
and
pretty
after
awesome.
that, yeah, it's history in the making. That's why I got the room all oranged out, and yeah, just to celebrate this for her honor and what took
Yeah,
him so long. But good call for Simon
right,
Bennett to finally have a official Orange Ranger in the series. So kudos for them. So kudos for them. But yeah, overall, it's a good episode. I love it. I love it a lot.
right. Real quick, I'm gonna turn my light on. It got really dark in here. I was just going with the window light or whatever, and I think some clouds covered up the sun or whatever, so I like completely
JoJo
disappeared.
just
But
love
anyway,
clouds.
yeah, I know. I thought, well, like whenever we started, I thought it was gonna be fine, but yeah, I just completely got really dark. But
Hello,
yeah,
Karma Rider 64.
I loved the episode too. Um, uh, Finally getting to see an Orange Ranger in theaters
Yes.
proper, like the actual television show, was really cool. I loved it. I love that they made Fern specifically the Orange Ranger. I think that
Mm-hmm.
made the most sense with the characters they were working with. Uh, the only other thing like they I guess they could have done was make a completely new character, but I really love what they did with Fern in this season.
Oh
I
yeah.
thought it was really cool to develop that relationship between her and Izzy, because before she was just a recurring character that showed up a few times throughout Dino Fury season 1 and 2. But now
Mm-hmm.
she's a full main character on the main cast. She's a ranger now. I thought it was really cool. Her weapon is awesome.
Oh yes.
I think it's one of my favorite weapons this season. The weapons just overall this whole season are so cool. Um,
Oh yeah. I love their
so
weapons a lot.
yeah, this was a really great episode and a very special episode for me in my heart.
Mm-hmm.
Ever since I was a kid and I saw SPD Orange, boom, I wanted to see it for real,
Yeah,
and
for
to
real.
finally get to see that, it was a childhood dream come true. I absolutely loved finally getting to see an Orange Ranger, and yeah, that pretty much wraps up our coverage here on episode 6, but now we're going to be talking about a brief history of the Orange Rangers in general, because there have been a few, but we'll go over them right after we check in with you all in the chat. So we got Pikachu Master saying, I would love the Cosmic Dragon Megazord as a figure, but I would probably have to buy the Japanese figures since toys with Hasbro are up in the air. Yeah.
Yeah.
The Q
Yeah,
Ranger toys,
definitely.
I'm pretty sure are pretty good. Um,
Oh yeah.
so I don't know how expensive they are now. Usually, after a season's over, they get pretty expensive online. But yeah, definitely if you find them on eBay or somewhere, definitely check them out. I'm pretty sure they're pretty good.
Hey Bryce,
Um,
did you need the sun back? Is it still Claudia over there? If so, then I could bring back the sun over there.
okay. Okay. Well, here, yeah. Let's try that out.
Right?
Here. Oh, hold on. You know what?
Got the
I think it
sun.
got a fraction of a percent brighter in here, Larry. So thank you.
You're
I
welcome.
really appreciate that. But Josh Goldman says we need Ranger skins in Fortnite. Yeah, we do.
Oh
Never
yes,
will
we
happen
do.
though. Not until we got like a reboot or something.
It's still a
But
reboot.
Pikachu Master says, "I'm surprised they didn't just get the Purple Ranger suit from Q Ranger, called it Zenith Ranger, and replace the helmet with the Dino Fury helmet and call it purple." Yeah, that would have looked cool probably. Because I mean, Zenith Ranger is fairly similar to Ryu Commander with the cape and the stuff like
Right? With the
that in,
K, the witch.
aesthetic wise.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah,
love that
um,
Ryu Commander, man. He looks
um,
like a true pimp. With
yeah,
the
I would
cane
have
and
been fine
everything
with
look
that.
good.
Sam Snoswell says, "Hey guys, I would like to see Bulk and Skull as purple and orange Rangers in live action series. Yeah, they appear in the
Oh
comics.
yeah.
We're getting ready to talk about it. It would be cool to see those suits in live action."
Oh yeah,
Uh,
definitely.
Pikachu Master says, "Ollie coming in, being all evil and handsome. I mean, cool. You know what, man? It's okay to be both, man.
Hey,
Honestly, sometimes they come hand in hand. You
he
know."
stole the show. I mean,
Uh,
he's a
yeah.
showstopper.
Sam Snoswell
The evil.
says Navy Ranger like Blake from Ninja Storm. Yeah, we do
Yeah.
finally get to see some more Navy Rangers in this season, which was pretty cool. It's not a color that gets used very often.
No, no, no. So
Um,
it's very rare.
Pikachu Master. Yeah, like the producer's like, okay, we have $1 million to spend on all these Evil Ranger and Fury Rangers. We'll give $30 each. It does feel like it does feel like a significant more amount of the boot compared to the Cosmic Fury Rangers. Um, let's see. What else do
And
we
Josh
have
just saying
here?
this thing. Is that a tapeworm? I cracked up when I
Yeah.
saw that comment. Josh was just like that tapeworm.
One of the few
Look,
seasons without a Pink Ranger. Yeah, that's
yeah.
true. Well, yeah. Besides the first few episodes with the Dino Fury suits, but yeah, in terms of the Cosmic Fury team, yeah, it's one of the few teams without a Pink Ranger. And it's been a while
Very, very.
since
It's
the
been a
last.
while.
Yeah, well, I guess actually no. We just had Beast Morphers, but before Beast Morphers, I guess it was RPM the last time there was no Pink Ranger.
Wait a minute.
Beast Morphers had no Pink Ranger.
They don't have a yellow, didn't they? They don't have a yellow.
Beast Morphers does.
Beats no Dino Fury
Oh yeah, they don't have
and
a
the
yellow.
Cosmic Fury.
Yeah,
They don't have the
yeah, they
yellow.
don't have a Yellow Ranger
Oh
either.
shit.
But
I know the Beast Morpher does. That was still like the last time they had a yellow. It was in Beast Morphers, and that was like the last time we see in yellow in Power Rangers series after this
let's
one.
see. Pikachu Master. I wonder if Heckle likes to heckle at people at baseball games or wrestling. You know what? I bet he would. I bet
You
he
probably
would.
would. Or they're cracking jokes.
And then lastly, Common Rider 64 says, thoughts on Netflix getting the rights to Common Rider to adapt What If? Like, are you asking, like, what if they got the rights to Common Rider to adapt it? Um, I guess it would be cool. I mean, in terms of adaptations in the U.S., we've only gotten Masked Rider based off of Common Rider Black RX, Common Rider Dragon Knight in the 2010s, or
Yeah,
no, the 2000 based off of Kamen Rider Ryuki. So I think it would be cool for
yeah,
us to
Ryuki.
try Kamen Rider again. Although since we're struggling to get Power Rangers and Super Sentai off of the ground here in the States, I don't know how willing they will be to try Kamen Rider again.
And then
But
same with the
honestly,
Metal
if anything,
Heroes.
I think we could get is never no back to the States. But honestly,
Metal
what I could see them doing is maybe they could try an Ultraman adaptation.
Ultraman. Yeah, the PS2 we
I
haven't
think that
had
would be pretty
that.
cool
Yeah, we haven't had that.
because Ultraman is still fairly popular here in the States. Where we've gotten, I think Shout Factory has done like most
Yeah,
subbed
Shaw Factories.
officially here in the States. So I can see them trying to do more Americanized versions of Ultraman, and I honestly think that would do pretty well here.
Oh
So
yeah.
I definitely think we would see that before a Kamen Rider, probably.
Yeah, we have a
Um,
lot. Yeah, we have a lot.
yeah, but yeah, let's move the discussion over to Orange Rangers now. The rest of them.
Yeah.
So the first time that we ever saw an Orange Rangers and Power Rangers was in Power Rangers SPD. We
Yeah,
had
SPD.
SPD Orange. We got a photo of that here. Um, and this is a really cool moment. Unfortunately, it was just a dream sequence, so it wasn't
Yeah.
really real. But I like few seconds of SPD Orange that we got in the show.
Oh yeah, the PSA I thought was cool. I said, "Holy cow! That they made it too." With the little recycle of space arranger helmets and making the
Yeah.
SPD
Yeah,
and
well, you know what?
the
SPD really liked to
which.
reuse those in space helmets. Shay, can we get that? Yeah, there
Oh
we go.
yeah,
That
they really do.
it just popped up on my screen. Yeah, they really like to reuse the in space helmets for whatever reason. I don't know, got a weird surplus of them. Uh,
I have no idea, but
but yeah, I mean, honestly, it works well with the rest of the costume. So
oh yeah, that looks
and
kind of
it
looks
honestly
pretty
is a
good.
real shame that they made this whole suit just for like a 2-minute dream sequence and then never reused the suit again. Like, I don't know why they went through all this trouble for it, but it looks great.
I
It's one of
mean,
my favorite episodes of the whole Power Rangers, like all 30 seasons.
and then the
So
plus, yeah, that, and then the plus, and then another closest one with the longer with season was that Cat Ranger slash Swan
yeah,
Ranger.
we got a photo of that too. In the same season, we got another Orange Ranger adjacent, but and this has actually caused a lot of debate in
Right.
the Power Rangers fandom. Is Cat an Orange Ranger or not? Ranger Wiki says maybe. The comics and the video game says she is. And so I think it's up into your interpretation. A lot of the suit is white. There are definitely some pretty major orange parts of it. But I mean, if you look back
Mm-hmm.
at the Zeo Gold Ranger, right? He's a Black Ranger with the gold shield on. Yeah,
Yeah.
so I mean, we have before called a ranger by the color that they aren't really predominantly representing, so I think it's totally okay and reasonable to call Cat an orange ranger here. I mean, the chest has a lot of orange. Her arms are completely orange. A lot of the
Mhm.
legs have orange. So yeah, there's a lot of white there, but also the Omega Ranger's the White Ranger of that season. So I think it'd be kind of
Right.
weird to just have two White Rangers in the team. So I usually consider Cat to be an Orange Ranger,
Orange
despite
Ranger.
a lot of her suit being white. Um, Also, in a German magazine comic book, we had the Dino Charge Orange Ranger.
Mm-hmm.
This was a character named Hocus Pocus, and
Hocus
basically,
Pocus.
yeah, Hocus Pocus, and he was a villain, a monster that was able to mimic things, and he was like a shapeshifter, and so he tricked the Dino Charged Rangers by disguising himself as the Dino Charge Orange Ranger, which I think is a pretty cool design. I don't know if we've ever figured out what dinosaur he was based on. Um,
I think the
but
closest thing, no, I think the closest thing from a creature to that one dinosaur
yeah,
that
what was it
farts.
called?
Uh,
No, there
hold
was
on, what's that
another
one
one.
farts? Or what's another
You
one?
remember how Kiryu Black has the orange, you know, the the digging claw
Oh
thing.
yeah, well with the digging clock, yeah.
Yeah, I think it
But
could
not the
be based
spiker,
off of
it's a
that one.
drill.
Yes,
Maybe.
yeah. I think it could
There's
be that maybe because he does have like the little horn there, but yeah, I don't know. But yeah, I thought that was a pretty cool, very random. It was randomly discovered a few years ago by Hurricane Gold. I believe he's a German Power Rangers fan. Randomly
ah.
discovered and he had this magazine because he's German. And
Mm-hmm.
nobody knew that this ranger existed until a few years ago, which is
Oh
very
wow.
it's a very interesting story behind it. So yeah,
Like the
Dino
hidden
Charge
treasure.
Orange. Yeah, hidden treasure.
That's
But then we
treasure.
also,
That's awesome.
whenever the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers 2016 comics started coming in, we had Mighty Morphin Orange. We got a image of that here, which is Skull from the Bulk and Skull duo. They became
Yeah, skull.
Power Rangers for a day. You know, the story goes the Power Rangers were out of town. And Zordon needed some business to be done, and so he called in Bulk and Skull. Bulk became the purple Mighty Morphin Ranger, and Skull became the orange. And
Right.
yeah, his dinosaur is is called the Featherdactyl, whatever the hell
Featherdactyl.
that is.
We need to
It's some
Google this up,
bird
y'all.
thing.
We need to
Yeah, and then
Google
he
this
also
up.
still has. I love how he still has like the handkerchief for
Uh,
the
yeah, the
bandana
bandana
still on his,
handkerchief,
or the
the
scarf.
bandana. Yeah.
Yeah. So I think it's a pretty cool design. He also has, like, his pants are falling down. So yeah, I mean, this was a funny, one shot story that they did in the comics. He showed up in a few of the video games. He's in Power Rangers Legacy Wars as a playable character. Uh, so
That's
uh,
awesome.
so yeah,
That's
they
really
and they
awesome.
keep liking to bring him back in like random things. Like, I think that you can buy an expansion for Power Rangers Heroes of the Grid, the tabletop game, and you can play as Skull, Vulcan Skull. So yeah, this one was pretty cool. But then later on in the comics, we got the orange Solar Ranger. We got a photo
Hmm.
of that, and the Solar Rangers in general just have really cool designs.
Oh yeah, yeah, that solo arrangers are the pretty. Yeah, I love their designs. It's really unique. I like that, and very original too. So
Yeah, I mean, completely
that was the thing of
original,
beauty.
not
That's
based off of
nice.
anything from Super Sentai. And I liked, I know a lot of people don't like the Promethea storyline, with the Promethea Rangers and the Solar Rangers, but I thought it was pretty cool, especially since we had like a team of like hodgepodge Rangers, like from the timeline. Like, we had Andros from In Space, we had Kimberly
Hmm.
Ranger Slayer, we had Cam from Ninja Storm. Mike
Hmm.
from Lost Galaxy got to become like a main ranger. Tanya from Zeo. Actually, Heckle, the Dark Ranger. This was our
Yeah.
first, introduction to that. So, I thought, that whole storyline was really cool. And then we got to see, Remy become the Orange Solar Ranger at the very end. And unfortunately, we didn't get to see her fight with the Rangers too much.
Right.
uh, but she kind of shows up at the very end. But yeah, she's a girlfriend in the storyline. Yeah, that was a really neat addition. But and then we also
It's
have
really nice.
the Grid Battle Force Orange Ranger. We got Image 16, and yeah, this is actually a really cool story. So
Oh.
hasn't really shown up in the show, sort of showed up in the comics, but this is actually a Make a Wish Foundation thing, and so basically, this kid Tyler Rinker um, wanted his Make a Wish was to become a Power Ranger, specifically the Orange Ranger, and he got to do that. Shay, I think we actually have the Solar Ranger pulled up. We need the next image. Um, but Larry, and I think we lost Larry's cam. I don't know how to
Yeah, they lost my
fix that.
camera, but yeah, yeah, y'all
Oh, okay,
can
we
hear me
still hear
still.
you. Okay.
Yeah,
Oh,
but
did
y'all
your
can hear me
your
still.
camera die or something?
Yeah, my camera must have
Oh
died
no.
or disconnected, but do may continue.
But yeah, this is actually but
Yeah.
it's a really cool story. And then eventually he actually got be on his own comic. So and they put him on a variant cover of one of the comics. So I thought that was a really cool story. Never shows up in the show, never shows up in any of the stories, but it's a really really cool moment. And then next up, we have Robo Blaze by a technicality. So obviously
Hobo.
in Power Rangers Beast Morphers, Blaze, he was like the evil Red Ranger, and then in season 2 they get new powers, and then he describes himself as the Amber Ranger, and since Amber is a shade of orange, that technically
Technically
counts
counts
him
him
as an
as an
Orange Ranger. However, I mean, if you look at his costume, like, no,
orange.
like yeah, there's a little bits and pieces in there. I really that seems like a pretty big stretch for me. I don't know, Larry. What do you think? Are you seeing a lot of orange here?
Yeah, there is a lot of orange. Like,
But it's honestly it's more gold. You can
yeah,
see
it's more
orange on the
gold.
cape,
Yeah, they're like
but
a
and then I guess Beast Morphers already had a Gold Ranger, so you can't call him the Gold Ranger.
yeah.
But
Pikachu, the
yeah,
master
they called
says
him.
that looks more like a bronze. So which I do kind of agreed a little bit, like a little
Yeah, honestly,
bronze.
they should have called him the Bronze Ranger.
Yeah, bronze. Yeah,
I feel like that would have been better.
would have been
But
way better.
yeah, Ranger Wiki calls him Orange. And I get it. He called in the show. They call him the Amber Ranger. So I mean, amber is a shade of orange. So I guess that means he's an Orange Ranger. But I mean, come on, you know. Uh, but then lastly, we have Michelangelo from the Teenage Mutant Ninja
Yeah.
Turtles. Uh, in MMPR/TMNT 2, the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles get new Ranger powers. They had different Ranger powers in the first book. Now in the second series, they get new powers, and Michelangelo actually becomes the Orange Ranger. They get to keep their mask color. And so I thought it was pretty cool. It's another one of those instances where the suit is mostly black. Um, but yeah, I think Michelangelo looks pretty decent as an Orange Ranger, I guess. But yeah, and of course, lastly, we'll circle back to Fern as our most recent and so far final Orange Ranger. And it's really cool, the history of the Orange Rangers. The technicalities behind it. We lost Larry Foley, but okay, yeah,
I
it was
thought
really
it was
cool
really cool
to
to
finally get to
finally
see an Orange Ranger.
an
No
orange.
arguments about it. She's orange. She's on the main team in the main
Yep.
TV show. And I thought that was really really neat to finally get to see that. So before we go, we'll check back in here. Um, with the rest of the chat. Common Writer 64 says, "Now, what if Marvel adapted Ultraman since they do the comics?" Um, that would be interesting.
Yeah,
I don't
very.
know how the rights work with that, but Marvel a Marvel Ultraman series would be quite interesting. I still think it would have to be somewhat involved with Super Riot Productions. So I don't think they could just do that. I think there would have to be some sort of deal made there. But yeah, that'd be pretty cool. And yeah,
Yeah, I
Pikachu
think it would
Master,
be awesome.
we already kind of went over that, but I think, yeah, Blaze clearly who clearly is more of a bronze than any sort of
Definitely
orange.
a
I mean, you know
bronze.
what? I think I've got. Let me play here real quick. Hopefully, I don't knock everything else down. But
He probably will. No, I was
I
kidding.
mean, at what point are we seeing orange here? You know, I get it. They called him Amber, so I mean, technically, but why did they call him Amber? This just isn't it. So yeah, and honestly, the helmet, especially the helmet is definitely bronze. So yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
definitely
know.
bronze and more yellow.
That was definitely kind of weird, but I think that concludes our discussions here today for Power Rangers Cosmic Fury episode 6, as well as a brief history on the Orange Rangers and Power Rangers. Thank you so much for watching. Pikachu Master real quick says I still need to get the Robo Blaze figure. Yeah, I think
Oh
Beast
yeah.
Morphers figures are running pretty cheap right now. They're pretty easy to find online, so I think I got this for probably not even $20. So,
So and
um,
they're probably a lower
uh,
price now since in the past
yeah,
seasons.
right. So, well, sometimes it's the opposite. Sometimes they get more rare. But in
That's true.
this case, it was pretty easy to find. But yeah, next week we're gonna be looking at the Dark Ranger episode for Power Rangers Cosmic Fury. This is the one. This is one of the episodes that everybody was kind of waiting for. Uh,
Oh
so
yes.
so it's gonna be pretty exciting to finally get to cover that. And yeah, we will see you all next week. Peace out, everybody.
Later.